Rakan want to add some more engage here.
I really like the Rakan, actually. Even though there's a Talia and a Wukong on the other side, you have so many different ways to engage that you should be able to find an angle in most scenarios, because there's so much different opportunities you have to set up for a Rakan flank, or if they use everything to try to block the Rakan, then you have the Ahri, etc. The Zeri is not quite as safe as the Ezreal or the Xayah, but it is still fairly safe, fairly mobile, does a lot of cleanup damage in team fights, and if you can hit a big equalizer, Zeri's full health, and she dashes through and ults in the team fight, you can really do a ton of consistent damage, because that's one thing that the Genji comp doesn't really have. They're running Ahri, Vi, and Aurora. Aurora can do big burst damage, and the longer team fights can sometimes really beef up that damage, but it's not as consistent as something like the Zeri is going to be able to offer you when you already have so much front-loaded damage in the equalizer that can come out from Morgan.
I like this comp from Bro. I feel like they give themselves a chance here in this game, and that's really all they can ask for. Let's hop into the Rift for game one.
Where he can be the one who cleans up the fight. And it's his 45th game of Zeri. It's the second most played champion across his career. There's a ton of comfort on this pick. And so I don't think you could ask for a better draft for him, better setup for him, as long as he plays respectfully.
Yeah, and we do see that Alistair is on a big win streak here, 10-4.
Yeah, you mentioned that win rate is pretty insane.
Yeah, Peter getting a win. We do have a big trade going the way of Ruler and Duro here. I mean, Alistair doesn't really do anything, and the angle was kind of weird for Hype going to the left, and they got caught in a rough spot. That's so that
pretty common
laning issue is being had here. Meanwhile, a laning issue in the top lane. This is another thing, you know, you blind pick the Rumble. It's a fantastic pick, but you're playing into Keen, and he will punish you. He is one of the players, like we saw Zeus do with the...
Unplayable for the Rumble, because the burst damage is going to be there for trades and aggression. And speaking of aggression...
Yeah, I mean, we have Hambach here, so Chovy going for an aggressive trade, didn't have vision, and he gets punished for it. Meanwhile, Hype, nice glide over the wall. Palu's still going to take a little beating.
So late to come over and catch it, which means it was almost an angle here for a contest by Keen on this dragon. He's not able to quite get over there. They don't suss it out. It was a good control word there. So Bro actually kind of sneaked this one away. And that's a huge boon for them. That's a ton of additional time for this area to come online later. She bought a Cull as well. Despite being down in CS, that Cull will kind of shore up the difference once it is completed much later on.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, one small win, but it feels pretty huge for what their comp is trying to do.
I mean, it's better than nothing. You're still losing 2 lanes. You are still going to lose all 3 grubs. And as you said, the biggest thing is that it buys time if we do get a really punishing Dragon Soul that comes through here like a Hex Tech.
This is the Aurora lead I was talking about. You don't want to deal with if you're Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, the ult comes out, and he's going to throw the equalizer, but it's not burning the cannon fast enough. Nice flash, though, from Morgan. That's going to get him out of time, so the equalizer actually does help. It gets the entire wave away, and he's able to flash away from the Vault Breaker in real time, miss like 3 CS.
True.
Jonas Strong zoomed in even. He knows.
So what if it is a Hextech Soul and Hambach just gets this for free? I mean, that might be what we see here, because a little bit of prio going to the bottom lane here for closer, and obviously with Canyon going for grubs, it just looks like, sure, you're going to give up 6 grubs for this, which feels really bad, but see what the Soul ends up being, because that's kind of RNG here for Bro, how much value they get. Obviously the stats for these first 2 elementals are nice, but if it ends up being Ocean, you're like, or Chemtech, it's not a comp that's good for it. Hambach is getting collapsed on.
Yeah, just gonna ult, no clone. He's got to get close to the wall if he wants to get away from this one, but the lockdown is insane. Canyon, though, getting pretty low himself as the damage does come out from Closer, but it's not quite enough. As King comes over and Closer dips.
It's pounding on the turret, but still feels really good here as Chovy's gonna miss.
He's got Ruler in the river. He's got a lot of help here, actually. Morgan drops the equalizer, hits nothing. And now, I mean, he's just a sitting duck. He could have died to just Chovy, as Morgan's going to stand still for a moment, knowing
another
he's
turret.
Pure League of Legends. And yeah, it's going to be another turret here. As Bro, they've got one thing. It's the dragons. So they're going to try to get the Dragon Soul. Palu going to get rooted. Doesn't ult. Going to lose more than half his health as Bro comes over and they say, we are going to contest this. And so will Gen G as the slow comes down onto Closer. There's the charm, already a lot of poke damage coming in here, and not even a full commit is now. Bro are going to be the ones that commit on into Canyon. They get him down. Closer surviving, actually, but the last shot is going to come through from Ruler to get that kill. Chovy getting super low, but he will survive till the very end as Palu also gets taken down. And Duro will be traded out here. Looks like Hype will get the kill.
Looks like meanwhile Palu is going to die, but they don't actually have at this stage enough damage to turn that into that winning Zeri moment. Like, if Hype wins that fight and cleans up, like which was so close to happening, if they didn't have such a deficit.
The team fight, as you were kind of highlighting, this is how Palu got picked. Only Ruler was in vision. He tried to headbutt the back, and it's just sadness. President Palu, nobody was there to get down for him, and
더 그냥 레전드 설계. 나 붙어줄게.
you don't get to do much. Over the wall comes Palu, trying to get on top of Keen, but the redemption comes in. The Aurora ult is there as well. Palu is eating turret shots in this dive as Hype is not able to save him, not able to save anyone, as now the chase continues. Hambach is going to get this one down. Duro taking a bunch of damage. Keen getting low as well. As Hambach, the flash comes in. We do have Hype with the kill. He will get on the board here. Ruler, though, going to open up as, oh, the wall is perfect. Going to deny it, but still Hype goes down. Closer, he tried, but it's not good enough.
Yeah, Hype trying to flash there, still goes down. Hambach, maybe?
Yeah, he's dead eventually. Really, the only question is, who's it going to die to? Nice try, Hambach. As the scanner was already there, they knew he used it.
Yep.
It's not respect to Bro. They don't want to let it happen again. Like I was saying before, like, Bro can do it. They can catch Gen G off guard. I just feel like you already did it. And now it's like Gen G are most primed. They're most ready to take you down. They're not going to be fooled again. At least not today.
Not today. Not in this first game.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Maybe round 2. You know, we'll see when that game actually does happen.
Remember,
and then I don't know if they'll be in the same group when it comes to Legend and Rise, but we'll see.
Bro was playing with their full roster in Kespa Cup leading into that match, whereas Gen G was still kind of sorting things out, and we're not the most dominant team. Easy, they're going to try to find their angle now. Morgan's so far away.
Yeah, I like how Gen G are just keeping it leashed, and they're not overcommitting to it. They want to take the fight here. The turn comes in. They got a charm on a Morgan. He's just so dead. He's dead before the fight even begins, but same could be said for Keen. Down he goes as the engage comes in here. It's a very broken up fight for Gen G. Canyon has to go in. Hype gets low, but he lives. And now the engage comes in here on a Ruler. It's 3v4 on the side of Gen G, but they're peeling very well for a Ruler who does an insane amount of damage. It's now going to open up. Palu has to sacrifice. They all flash away from it, but now the Zeri is down. And now I think Bro's fun is a bit over as Chovy, the perfectly timed Zhonya's, and he is going to live with the help of Duro. As the heal comes out, the Guardian comes out.
One ward at a time.
Trinket saw 2 people, and they're going to get this down onto, I believe, Closer. And he does get a big shield, actually, as that is the first withdrawal onto one. Gen G, they have kind of boxed this engage, and Hype is going man mode here. Is going to pick up 3 withdrawals so far. And there is the zap onto Keen.
And that could be a Baron. Yeah, I mean, if they go now, I mean, they really have.
It's like they're trying to say that they're really respecting and that they prepared a lot for this match, but at the same time, they're not really giving it 100%. They're at like 95%. Really like this Jin build as well. You know, he has a decent amount of scaling, gets to Collector 4th, especially when he's this fed. And it's relatively cheap. You can just pick it up, and a lot of the squishies on the side of Bro.
Chovy on a flank.
Yeah, he's got a pretty nice angle here. He wants to get Palu, gonna force that ult. As now the Mega Cone engage comes in, they're gonna go on to Canyon here. It's not the best target, as now Duro gonna peel as well. Closer can't quite get in, as the Zeri is gonna go into the ult though. They get the first kill, but 2 go the way of the Aurora. And they still have so many threats here on the side of Gen G.
Hype, what you got? I mean, this is his opportunity. So far behind though, and they're down a member.
But it's already down 3,000 health. Hambach can't quite get in. Duro gonna get stunned, but it doesn't quite matter. Palu has to flash. He doesn't have his ult. And the charm is down. So that's just a free Baron here for Gen G.
Yeah. And now Chovy cleaning up.
I mean, he has Bajais. He's got 18 stacks. And Keen steals that kill away.
So, Wukong to engage. I mean, Morgan could try to buy some time with an equalizer. Closer could try to buy some time with a Weaver's Wall, but now he's dead.
Yeah, he tried his best to put down a wall. And instead, he just got punished for it. And now Morgan and Hype desperate to do something. There's still a wave here. The flash on in. Ruler gonna just one-tap height, basically.
And I mean, the equalizer doesn't hit the minions, so it's just done.
Yeah, that's this game. Not the most exciting game, even though it was a 26-kill game. We did have some back-and-forth team fights at least, but it always felt like Gen G were going to take this one down eventually. And it comes here at 34 minutes in. They're going to one-hit the Nexus. Down it goes, and Gen G take game one.
이거
맞췄어.
나탈리아 보자.
빨리는 거
나
좋지.
빨렸어.
아이씨, 레고.
그냥 천천히 해도 돼.
천천히 하자. 대리궁 빼자, 그러면. 대리궁 한번 빼자.
이거 미니언 없거든? 그냥 이거 만
와우. 원판매요. 세지? 세긴 하다. 근데 세야 되네. 알릴 필요 없다.
이거
550 빼야 돼. 그니까 얘 둘밖에 없어. 505초. 원숭이 5초. 럼블 팰리스 있고.
Instantly. I don't want to criticize that moment too much, but I feel like that was maybe the one moment where Bro could have grabbed control of the game, made a really, really tough call there, and they didn't. But otherwise, I feel like Bro played a good game, all things considered, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they have for us for the rest of the series. I think
Xinjiao and Aatrox run at them.
Yeah.
Like, you get flanks, but you need something. And hard engage, Nautilus is fine. You know, Nautilus, Leona, or a couple that were left available.
It doesn't feel great, though, because there's so many ways to just, like, you arrow, Scion Qs, or Sleep comes through, or Yone gets on top. When you're trying to clear vision, if you're behind with this comp with Gen G, it feels real bad. Luckily, you have some really strong prio champions, and you're playing into a Scion, so the top lane is kind of already a check. You're playing the bottom lane Misfortune into the Ashe Rel, which can be volatile. It's not a free win, but you should be able to get some element of control down there as the Misfortune.
Very curious to see how this one is going to go. Duro on solo engage. We'll see how he does in this game, too. So we are getting ready for that game, too. Let's hop onto the Rift.
Gen G just end up with a 3,000 gold lead super early on, once again.
That might just happen. Chovy went Grasp, and he knows he's going to get a million stacks here. It's not quite 80 Nidalee into Scion. Not like Kale, where you actually do change for the game.
Well, I feel like sometimes people will talk about these matchups in the mid lane where it's like, yeah, Akali versus Victor can be quite tricky. And they were always like, oh, I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, she does Amelia champion, and so it is. That is the reason. It's not because like Akali specifically is a bad matchup at level 1. She just has like one ability, and she can't shoot far. So
yeah,
Chovy has maximized those first few levels though incredibly well here.
I mean, especially the Grasp stacks, right? Like, Closer is playing it so that he's just going to see a push here from Gen G as Morgan goes for the shield. He is going to get a fully charged Q into Keen. And yeah, this is the thing. I mean, he gets very low, but Scion doesn't generally die. Unless Morgan messes this up.
Yeah. Swing around a lot and then press your snap back and you're like, aha, I won the trade.
Haha, got him.
Duro's here though, so Closer may be pushing this advantage a bit too far.
Yeah, but I don't know if... Okay, I mean, Chovy doesn't really have damage, though, is the issue. The Ignite comes in, and that's probably what Duro was saying. Closer gets to force the flash from Closer and then try to hit the hook. But I suppose Chovy's situation wasn't the best, so didn't force it that hard.
Gen G are going to start these grubs first. Are we flipping?
Well, Brove decided they want to fight for it.
Closer's got his ult.
Yeah.
Are you flipping, son?
Are you flipping, son? It's a level 4 Rel. They're going to engage on a canyon, and the CC comes through. They take him down in trade for Palu, but he's only a support, but the Chaos Storm is doing a number, and Closer's getting way too low. Ruler full health.
Really end up winning that, so it's a bit haphazard there, and
Ruler, no flash. I think he dies here. A couple more autos come through. He's going to tank it up for hype, and there you go. The two of them. No. Okay, well, did go over to the Ashe, but could have been just a Rel that lives instead.
Yeah, that's not great. As speaking of things living.
Yeah, no flash here on Closer, but nice dodge. And that is going to save his life.
If he gets hit by that, he dies.
He's back!
X-flashing. And oh no, Closer's up. He is.
Yeah, I mean, Rel's coming over here, but I think it might be a little bit too late. But with Hambach here, maybe it's enough. The arrow also gonna hit the Xinjiao. That is a level 6 Xinjiao. So just let it be. Big mistake straight into a Nautilus. And he got punished for it, but at least they're not just taking Drakes as,
he tried to clear the wave. He came into this one a little bit late.
The classic greed for the wave 80 carry maneuver.
Yeah, Palu waited for an extra second. I don't know if he needed to he remounts under the turret.
Looks like he got minion blocked there. And press your buttons at the right time kind of champ. Chovy here does have flash, but he puts down the gravity field. Like, well, do you ever kill him? I don't know about that.
He also had boots in that scenario too, so he's just, I mean, he's not that immobile at this point.
Because, yeah, Canyon comes in. You know, even
Canyon
after
is still here, and he's on a ward.
Yeah, he's got red buff. This is still Scion. Ult comes through. Full knock-up potential. And there you go. They're going to get it from the Aatrox, but they don't want to dive a Scion here. And, yeah, King just going to ult for not much. Meanwhile, Hambach is getting a Drake, and they're getting the bottom plates.
Yeah, because Ruler swapped top here, and Keen committed that play late. Like, he's so late on TPing to the bottom lane, so a lot of play gold is going to go over. Once again, Genji in control of Grubs is closer. Have we learned? No, he's just looking for a little... Oh, I
mean, Arrow's going to hit,
but there's nobody here.
The bowling ball?
Okay, anyway.
It is what it is.
So we're just kind of having a party down here.
Snuck into the brush. Did Duro.
Oh, no.
In Unbound Soul, he's done it very safely. It seems like Bro have a good idea.
Well,
okay, well. Yeah, he knows. He knows
later on for this Ashe, so Bro feeling good as long as they don't mess anything up. I mean, the fact that they were able to read that play bottom side really well, the fact that Closer played so incredibly respectfully behind the wall there is huge, because if he dies and they lose that bottom turret to 6 grubs, you know, this game looks totally different. Now we're trying to group for a little bit of Dragon Prio very early, and a little bit of a fight over the blue buff.
I mean, they might be able to get Duro here. He gets his hook not connecting to the wall, and that's going to be the end of him.
You get caught. There is no way out. You just die.
And we saw that there. Chovy is going to be safe still. Has his Rod of Ages. They're still trying to kill him here. Under the turret, the flash comes in. There's the sleep as well. And Paulo's just kind of staring at his teammates like, guys, we're not doing this.
Yeah, I also think that it's not wise to use that Lilia ultimate right before the dragon. We're going to be committing to a fight there. I mean, if you get the kill, sure. Then you get the dragon, but that was a tanky Chovy.
Morgan wins this one. He was very deep in there. And
I want to grab some flowers on the way out.
Yeah, he will, but thankfully he used his ult to avoid that Q1 because... Oh, the ult! Jeez! Closer, no chill. Pretty good. The others are decent.
I think they just want to play through where they have tons of control and prio here in this top side, because if Bro just kind of happy feet, they get the turret, because they have 6 grubs.
Uh-oh. Morgan and Palu staying around too long. As long as they didn't mess it up, you said. Well, this is a bit of an issue here for Bro. The follow flash comes in from Canyon, and Palu is just dead as well. And they're getting the Drake. They're going to get this bottom turret, but I feel like that was going to happen anyway. Genji get a couple of kills
for another Chemtech Soul. 2 Dragon Leaf. Oh, it's not a Chemtech Soul! I can see it, as Duro's having a really good series.
살짝 끌어볼게.
It's just max range, but I mean, he had flash too. He could have flashed it. And he decided
that's not in the top half. Palu, Hex Flash over the wall into 2 Genji members. The knockup comes in. Closer's like, I don't know if I can really help you here. Might try to get a knockup, but Palu is in a lot of trouble. The ult comes out and down. No, it's going to miss, actually. It requires the MF ult. The block on the Yone does come through, but they can't follow
up. Just kill the whole turret as Chovy is having a bit of a rough time here.
And Cast Storm comes down, trying to all in on a Chovy without his ult.
Sometimes you throw there, but also when you have control and you are pressuring that blue buff, the other team's like, that's my blue buff.
Yeah.
You can't have it, and then they can't have it, and also then 3 kills and you lose the game. So it can be quite tricky.
Or the winning team dives way too deep.
Yes.
And they get caught out.
By the way, Bro just start this, and Genji are very far away. Not to cut you off here, but
I don't know if this is fast enough.
They have a decent amount of damage, but I agree with you. I don't think it is. Morgan can TP over. He can also ult in.
It's even a safe TP from Keen. Just going to come up here. They turn on a Chovy. Can they take him down? The answer is absolutely not. They didn't even get him below half health. He's just got a Rod of Ages, and he does not care. And that is already 3 kills here for Genji. They say, thank you very much for the leash, Bro. And they'll take down Hype here. Morgan, the last one available. And it's just going to be a clean ace to the side of Genji. It was not close, even for a moment. Say Genji, as they take down the Ruda Sadakan, and they'll get all the flowers, too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's still there, huh?
We're going to hit an arrow onto the Nautilus. And Hambach does get a big sleep. Will it matter? The bullet time's on the enemy team this time. They might kill Duro. They might be able to do it. Can they do it? The answer is no. The storm is just ginormous. And it's actually zones away, closer and hype. It's a zoning ult by the end of it after he gets 3 kills. Chovy only got 1 of them, but, you know, essentially the storm got them. And that's going to be the Baron here, too. Every time Genji and Bro match up, it's a 2-0.
You know, there are the games where the Korean commentators...
Don't die and then press your R and, you know... Can they kill Duro this time? Maybe, actually. I think they will. Yeah, they will. TP comes in.
It's a short TP, but it's enough to close the gap.
Yeah, so he says, don't pick on my little brother. He's going to zone away Palu here. He really has something personal against Palu, and Palu will die. Meanwhile, the rest of Genji are just chasing him down the lane. Doesn't look like it'll
only got 9,000 gold to go.
Well, gonna just put down some zoning abilities, and with the Baron buff, look to chip away at this turret. Not overcommitting. I feel like Genji, this entire series, have been mostly respectful.
They really not playing fast and loose with their drafting either. I mean, it's pretty stock standard here. Almost a tier list in both games for them. I feel like the Nautilus was the most awkward part of it, but he had a fantastic game, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, and they're just going for the tutorial victory. They're going to take down all of the buildings in the base. Chovy has done the most damage, even more than Keen, who got some free time. Oh, the arrow's going to actually hit Chovy, but nobody goes in onto him. Meanwhile, Keen is just resetting in the backline. Nice ult here from Ruler. Chovy, he goes for the Zanyas, and he will live from 12,000 gold ahead. He can do it. And yeah, they're not going to kill him this time either.
Show the experience, show he's level 18. Show his trophy case.
Yeah.
What else can we show? The man is good. The man is great, and the man is getting his revenge 2-0, Valdez.
He will have it, and so will the rest of Genji. A very straightforward series, the 2-0. Well, he must have done a lot in this game. No, he just hit the
you're right, the bar is still there. I don't know why I thought it disappeared for some reason.
Maybe we just haven't had a lot of early game damage.
I don't know. I mean, so I guess I always knew. I guess I just knew it was there the whole time, but I haven't really talked about it that much recently. Yeah. So I kind of just forgot. Weird.
Dragons
even got a little map legend on this as damage dealt pre-14.
You got like the key there for the map. Yeah. Dragons are still fake. I'm not convinced.
Genji is beating the 6 grubs win rate being low allegations.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by Chovy on the side of Genji. Congratulations! Thank you. You said you will become God today, and we get to see you yet again in the interview zone. How does it feel to get your LCK Cup payback? Yeah, I did say after my last match that I would become godlike today, and sometimes I make mistakes after saying something like that, but I'm really glad that I got to keep my promise. And I didn't really feel a lot of pressure today. And even Coach Kim said that victory will be Genji's. Which tells us that you guys really prepped hard for today. So what have you paid more attention to? I think even all the things that we have been working on, we just have to make sure that there's no flaws, and it's just all really maintenance stage. And I think just being able to check ourselves really does keep us on our toes and make sure that we can be on the top of our forms. And I have to ask, in the pre-show, Helios and Coco actually had a debate about which lane Brion has to shut down to defeat Genji. And Helios said that they have to stop Chovy no matter what. So mid bans are a must. But Coco also said that it's near impossible to contain Chovy. So the focus has to be top. So what do you think? Well, first of all, even if you ban top, I feel like it's really hard to stop top either. But you know, I would prefer if our enemies just use their bans on top.
아, 탑을 밴을 했으면 좋겠다 이렇게 말씀해 주셨습니다.
So
저 초비 선수의 빅토르 정말 많은
even if there were top
그
bans,
상대팀의
it wouldn't really even be
있으니까요.
easy to
오늘은
defeat
계속해서
Genji.
빅토르를 풀어주는
And
모습을
Chobi's Victor is
보여주고
always number one to get banned, but it appeared as if the enemy let Victor open for you. Yeah, honestly, Victor has been performing really well, but I don't think that Victor doesn't have any weakness or any counters, but I think that's probably because that's probably why they keep leaving Victor open, because he's not a perfect champion. So, you said that you would stand above all, so does it feel like you've reached the skies today? Honestly, just from my gameplay, I do feel like I reached the skies, yeah.
이렇게 해서 젠지 6전 전승에 성공하셨습니다.
And now that you are undefeated in 6 matches, you only have 3 matches left in round 1, so are you confident that you will get an undefeated round? You know, I don't know about confidence, but I think undefeated round is definitely doable. It's possible. And that's the end of the interview with Chovy, and back to the space. Thank you.